So, dear students, we are going to talk about today, actually start with the nervous system, the coordination system in the body. We know that as animals become complicated, like we know there are very simple animals like sponges, they're as complex animals as monkeys and apes. How the body coordinate? I mean, how the body systems coordinate with each other and also coordinate with their surroundings. So we are going to talk about the nervous system that makes that coordination happen. So let's have an overview how it happens. So coordination. Um, so coordination. Here have a look on the overall picture. Now what happened that we already know that there are three divisions of nervous system. There are two main divisions. First of all, we should talk about them, and then we'll divide them further. Um, One division is called central nervous system. Everyone have heard of CNS, a central nervous system. The other is PNS or peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system is divided further into two more divisions, the sensory division and the motor division. So central nervous system is the one which have to process and integrate the information which is coming from the sensory division, and then it creates or makes orders that it sends to the motor nervous system or motor system, which then create a response to the things that were recorded. Now let's see how it happened. For example, a person is going, a woman, child, anyone is going into a forest. Man is going to a forest, and the man see a bear. What will happen? Most probably, man will run away. Now, looking at the bear and running away is a stimulus, looking at the bear, a response, running. In between, there are many things which happen at the level of nervous system. So let's see how it happens. So stimulus, bear. First of all, what will happen that we should have certain receptors, windows to the environment, so through which we can see, we can hear, we can feel. So anyone will either see a bear with their eyes. So eyes are receptors, or maybe they hear the voice of the bear. Then it means that they are actually sensing in another way. That is, they are listening, they are hearing through the ears. So ears are another form of receptors. So those receptors will help the nervous system to feel, or we can say see or hear or locate the environment. Now, what will happen further? Eyes will send a response through sensory neurons to the what we call peripheral nervous system or the sensory nervous system. So eyes will send a response through sensory neurons which are part of peripheral nervous system. And this part of peripheral nervous system will be called as the sensory division. So sensory division of peripheral nervous system, sometimes also called efferent division. Efferent means that this is sending signals to CNS, some main body, some main system. So what will happen that we see from eyes, or we feel it, we hear with the help of ears, all are connected to some or the other form of sensory neurons. Those sensory neurons will send information to the CNS. So sensory division consists of neurons which are connected to different types of receptors like eyes, ears, skin, um, or maybe the baroreceptors inside the any other system, and then they send that information to CNS. Now, what CNS do? This is second way. CNS will process that information. First of all, we know various things by our memory. We have learned various things like if someone knows that this is a beer, this is dangerous for us. This is some information that is coded in our memory. We are told by our elders that this is dangerous. We feel, or somehow if we have interacted with them, we know they are dangerous. So this is called processing, recalling the memory and then integrating the information. Oh, this is dangerous. How much dangerous? Now what should I do? All these things should be, all these things will be called processing and integrating. Now after processing and integration, the CNS will have to make a decision. when it takes a decision, it initiates what we call responses. This is mental activity. And this happen at the central nervous system or the CNS level. Now after processing, integrating all the information, reaching a decision and reaching that what should be done now, what should be the response, CNS sends information to the second part of PNS, the peripheral nervous system, that is called the motor division. The motor neuron, everyone heard of motor neurons. This is called efferent division. Efferent division or motor division. Why? Because this is bringing some information from central nervous system and sending it to those which have to make a response, like skeletal muscles or so. So efferent division and the motor division. Now this information from motor division or the PNS division number 2 moves to the what we call the response elements. Now different types of responses could be generated. There are two main response parts, or we can say response systems. One is the skeletal muscle system, skeleton and the muscles. See, if we have to run with the help of muscles and bones. So skeletal and muscular system. So the efferent division, the motor division sends information to the muscles to run with. Then to support the muscles, we need more, like cardiac muscles, smooth muscle and glands. Yes, because what will happen when we run faster, we need more oxygen, we'll produce more CO2, carbon dioxide, and we need more blood for the exchange of these gases. So cardiac muscles are also activated. So this motor division activates skeletal system, muscular system, cardiac system, and even maybe sometimes glandular system. You have heard of fight and flight hormones. Epinephrine or epinephrine have to be released, and for that glands have to be activated, and this will also be happening by this PNS division of the PNS or the motor division. So this is how this simple thing that we see a bear, we run away. This has happened. We have seen I sent this information called stimulus to the efferent division, the sensory neurons. Sensory neurons sent it to the CNS. In CNS, many of the neurons, generally called interneuron, have processed the information, integrated the information, reached a decision, and then send that information to the motor division, the motor neurons. Motor neurons send that information to the skeleton, to the muscles, to the cardiac muscles, to the glands, smooth and other muscles, and endocrine system, and the skeleton, so and so on, and muscular system, smooth muscles as well, glands as well, and ultimately all of these collectively generates what we call effect or the response to that stimulus. So this is how the nervous system works. Now we will talk about, after that in next video we will talk about at the cellular level what happens. So thank you, and if you have any question you can post these always to the for any forum inside the Moodle or maybe on WhatsApp group or else.